The mandate of a Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency, SMEDAN, as contained in the Enabling Act include stimulating, monitoring and coordinating the development of the MSME subsector, initiating and articulating policy ideas for small and medium enterprises growth and development, promoting and facilitating development programs, instruments and support services to accelerate the development and modernization of MSME operations. In this era of COVID-19, these small and medium businesses are faced with a lot of hardship and turbulence. Where is the SMEDAN? I'm being joined by the Director General of the agency, Dr. Diko Rada. Good morning, Dr. Rada. Thank you for joining us.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, are you aware that the 50 billion naira COVID-19 fund promised by the Central Bank for small businesses are yet to get to them?
No, we are quite aware that there is 50 billion available for the take of the MSMEs in the country due to the effect of the COVID-19. And the CBN has already rolled it on, and then it is being done through the National Microfinance Bank. But I'm aware that the MSME have applied for the loan and processes are taking place, but I'm not sure. I've not seen one person who told me that he has received the money, but I'm aware and I've been informed by a majority of MSMEs that they have applied for the loan, and we are hoping very soon they will start getting those money.
For how long will that take? Now, aside, as a government agency, aside, you are set aside to coordinate and monitor the development of MSMEs that are said to be the bedrock of the economy. What is your role in this 50 billion naira intervention fund?
Basically, we are aware that there is 50 billion meant for MSMEs, but specifically, SMEDAN is not engaged as to how this loan can get to these people and as how these loans can benefit the MSMEs. But we are aware, since we have the responsibility of facilitating the growth and facilitating access to finance by the MSME, we didn't wait for anybody to consult us. We went ahead and started mobilizing the MSME to roll into the program and try to benefit in order to improve their businesses. Basically, the major challenge that we have and the nation faces is the lack of proper synergy between agencies of government, because there is need for us to have this proper synergy because of the need for us to play the role that is meant for us to play. Basically, we are the apex organization in charge of MSME in the country. If such kind of funds are rolled out for MSME, SMEDAN need to be engaged. But basically, we are engaged or we are not engaged. That is not the most important thing. The most important thing is to make sure that the money gets to the MSME, and we are working very hard through our branches in the state, through our zonal offices in the 6 geopolitical zone of the country, to ensure that people apply for the loan and are able to get the loan, and to ensure that they use it properly for the benefit in which the loan is meant for.
Now, if I get you right here, there's a fundamental problem here. In other words, SMEDAN was not carried along in this 50 billion naira scheme or whatever. Now, you're talking about not having synergy. I know we have the Bank of Industry, doing SME, the ITF, doing SME, and now, of course, CBN always supporting the SME. Why is this synergy lacking? What can you say is the major problem here?
I think there is effort being made by the current Minister of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, SMEDAN being an agency under that ministry, and the BOI as well as ITF are all agencies under the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. And the honorable ministers are trying hard to ensure that this synergy is properly coordinated, and there is benefit driven by the MSMEs at the whole level. But I want to assure you that there is synergy that is going on some programs. Like we have a program that we call NADEP, which is a tripartite agreement, that is National Entrepreneurship Development Program. It's a tripartite agreement between SMEDAN, ITF, and Bank of Industry. Basically, SMEDAN provide entrepreneurship training, ITF provide vocational skills, and then BOI will provide the funding for those. But for the last 2-3 years, we have been training the MSMEs on entrepreneurship. ITF has been given the vocational training, and BOI has not been able to provide the funding. But right away, efforts are being made because BOI are complaining that they are not getting money from the government. The money they have is not a government money. So they need to have a kind of guarantee to enable them to provide that kind of funding to this program. And I think this is an area, if the BOI will be able to be funded by the federal government on this, I think the government will be able, the MSMEs in the country will be able to benefit because they are getting all the capacity development they needed before they access the funding. Because basically the challenge is when you don't have the training, you end up spending the money improperly, not to the benefit of the businesses. But with this knowledge they have, and then with the funding, I think it is going to properly benefit the MSME development in the country. And effort is being made, and I believe part of the things that the economic sustainability team, headed by the Vice President on COVID-19, is looking at how they can fund BOI so that BOI can be able to provide funding for those people trained by ITF and SMEDAN.
Now, this 50 billion we're talking about here is supposed to be an emergency fund to see these small businesses, out of this COVID-19, at least to support them. The problem now is that they have not gained access to this funding. How do you, as an agency meant to support these businesses, plan to wade in now to ensure that these intervention monies get to the right people?
I think basically the money is meant for MSME. That is very clear, and this is something that is provided by the federal government of Nigeria through the CBN using their National Microfinance Bank. I think the most important here is for us as an agency to sensitize the MSME as we are doing so, and also to ensure that we have this interface with the BMO's business membership organization like NASME, NASI, and the rest of AWEB and the rest of other organizations that are meant for the development of MSME at all levels. So it is our responsibility now to ensure that people are sensitized, people get to get the information about this loan and try to benefit from the loan. And I think we don't need to wait for anything. We have started doing that. I have told you earlier that we have sensitized our branches in the state, and we have sensitized our zonal directorate to ensure that people are sensitized through their BMOs to ensure that the money is utilized properly. And then this is an intervention that is meant, which is an immediate intervention. So that was the reason why most of the procedures and the processes were reduced to ensure that people get the money quickly. And I think the onus is on MSMEs now to ensure that they apply quickly and to ensure that. And we want to call on all the MSME who encounter one problem or the other to report to any of our branches or through our website to ensure that SMEDAN intervene into the process and make sure that the money that is meant for them to get, it has reached the main beneficiaries of the fund.
Now, have you tried to engage the National Microfinance Bank that is supposed to, disburse these funds? What are they saying? Why the delay?
No, I don't think there is much major delay as people are saying it, but I know, there are a number of beneficiaries, there are a lot of beneficiaries who applied for this, and it is not easy for the processing. And the National Microfinance Bank, they are trying hard to ensure that, and most of this application comes through online, and then they are trying hard to ensure that, because I have engaged the director in charge of entrepreneurship development department of my agency to engage the National Microfinance Bank to ensure that we get proper information as to how loan can be accessed as quick as possible and why is the delay, and then what can the MSME do to ensure that easily they can access the funding and as quick as possible. Because of the time we are now, the critical situation the MSMEs are facing now is a very challenging one, and it is better and proper if the National Microfinance Bank should increase their process to ensure that the MSME get the money as quick as possible to enable them to develop their businesses and scale it up.
Well, I'm hoping that National Microfinance Bank will, of course, come on this show to answer some of these critical questions. I've tried to reach out to them, and I'm hoping they will definitely come to give us an answer. But let's look at other programs of SMEDAN. You have a flagship program called the One Local Government, One Product. That's acronym OLOP. Tell us about it.
Yeah. And I think the OLOP program is a program that is borrowed from Japan. In Japan, they have what we call One Village, One Product. We adopted this program from the study tour that we conducted in Japan, which we make it one local government, one product. We have 774 local governments. What SMEDAN is doing is to identify an organic cluster, an existing business within a local government, so that we can study them, give them proper training. After giving them proper training, then we identify what kind of machinery are they liking to scale up their production. And then we provide that machinery to them. We provide a working capital after giving them the training. And then the program is meant is meant for rural industrialization, because what we are trying to do is to increase and scale up the production and to ensure that people get the necessary machineries. And that common machinery that we provide for the cooperative is meant to be used by all the members of the cooperatives at a proper time as they design it. And then we give them a working capital. And the repayment period for the loan is 2 years, with a moratorium of 6 months. And after that, they will pay back 70% of what we have given them. And then the 30% is part of the support by the federal government towards the development of those clusters. And we have gone to over 280 local governments so far. And this year alone, we are going to about 109 local governments. And part of the committee under the Presidential Economic Sustainability Team, we have made a presentation on how we can increase and scale up the activities of the OLOP due to this COVID-19. Because this is the critical time now that the government needs to support this program as proper as possible, so that these people can be able to increase their production. And also, at the end of the production, we link them up with the market so that they can be readily available in the market, and then they can be able to sell their product. And we are happy that last week, the NAFDAC have launched an e-registration platform, which will enable this kind of clusters to register online, and the registration period has been reduced. They have launched it last week, Wednesday, I think, and they have reduced the cost of the registration for NAFDAC, which is one of the problems that is militating against the growth of production sector in the MSME window. And this is a welcome development, and we encourage the MSMEs to use that opportunity to ensure that they register their product online and then use the available information at their website so that they can easily get their product registered.
Now, this registration, online registration you're talking about, does it have to do, you are partnering with Facebook and Google to provide some kind of digital skills for SMEs. Is there any linkage with all of this and your OLOP initiative?
No, I think basically the Google and Facebook relationship with SMEDAN is a partnership that we entered for some years now, and the platform is meant for the digital, for the Google and the Facebook to train the MSME on how to use the information technology, how they can use computer to advance their production and to advance their market, like using the Google and Facebook to market their product. What SMEDAN normally do under that partnership is to provide a workspace to mobilize the MSMEs for the training, and then Google and Facebook, they are to give the training to those MSMEs and how they can utilize those platforms to ensure that they market their product and get whatever they needed. You know, this is very critical, especially this time, for those people who have been trained over last year or last 2 years, they can just be able to, they can just go into the internet and market their product. You know, this COVID-19 thing has introduced the use of technology in selling your product. And then people are buying into it. And yeah, so I think this is a very good platform. And then this this platform and partnership that we are doing with Google and Facebook is a good one. And then we are continuing with it, especially now that we have this big problem in our hands.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Diko Rada. And please continue to engage the Nassau Microfinance Bank to ensure that these businesses get the monies as at when due. Thank you for your time.